So this video is a follow-up to our initial notes on section 4.1, which was finding general antiderivatives. But what we're going to talk about today is starting with an initial condition and finding what's called a particular solution. In other words, we're going to figure out what that constant of integration, c, is for a particular example. So we're going to take a look at f prime of x is equal to 3x squared minus 1. The initial condition is this right here. We're being told that f of 2 is equal to 4. We're going to use that to solve for c. So the first thing I need to do is find my general antiderivative. So in order to do that, I need to integrate 3x squared minus 1. If I use the power rule for antiderivatives, I'm going to get 3x cubed divided by the new exponent, so that'll end up being just plain old x cubed. And then the antiderivative of a constant is that constant times x. And then I have plus c. So my general antiderivative is x cubed minus x plus c. Question is, what's c? I'm going to use this initial condition now. So I'm going to write down what f of 2 is. So replace every x with a 2, and you get 2 cubed minus 2 plus c, and that expression is going to be equal to 4. So that gives me 8 minus 2 plus c is equal to 4. So I have 6 plus c equals 4. C must be negative 2. So therefore my final solution, f of x is equal to x cubed minus x plus c, which in this case is negative 2. And there is my particular solution for this problem. Let's take a look at a second example. This time we're told what the second derivative is equal to, and we're given two separate initial conditions, one for the first derivative and one for the second derivative. So since I'm told what the second derivative is, when I integrate, I'm going to essentially figure out what the first derivative is. So if I apply the power rule for antiderivatives, I'm going to add 1 to the exponent to get to negative 1/2, and then I have to divide by that new exponent, negative 1/2. But we all know that dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So instead of x to the negative 1/2 divided by negative 1/2, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of that negative 1/2 on the bottom to get negative 2 x to the negative 1/2 plus c. And since I can't leave a negative exponent in my answer, I'm going to write this as negative 2 over x to the 1/2, which is the same thing as square root x plus c. Now I want to use my initial condition. So here we go. F prime of 4 would be equal to negative 2 over the square root of 4 plus c. And that is going to be equal to the 2. And again, this is coming from this initial condition up here. So if I do negative 2 divided by the square root of 4, negative 2 divided by 2 would be negative 1. This is negative 1 plus c is equal to 2. Therefore, c is 3. And my first derivative, f prime of x, is negative 2 over the square root of x plus 3. So we're halfway done. Now I need to find the antiderivative of that and use the next initial condition. So now to get actual f of x, I need to do the antiderivative of f prime of x. I'm going to write it as negative 2 x to the negative 1/2, because we're going to need to use the power rule. I can't leave the radical, plus 3. Don't forget to write the dx at the end. So I'm going to keep the negative 2, x, add 1 to the exponent, you get positive 1/2, and then I have to divide by that new exponent 1/2. Antiderivative of a constant is a constant times the variable x, and then plus c. And now I just need to clean that up a little bit. Negative 2 divided by 1/2 is the same as negative 2 times 2, so this is negative 4 square root of x plus 3x plus c. Now if I use my other initial condition, f of 1 was equal to 5, I'm going to come up with this. F of 1 is equal to negative 4 square root 1 plus 3 times 1 plus c, and that's equal, that's equal to 5. Sorry, I wrote an extra equal sign in there. Let me fix that. There we go. And if I solve that equation, I'm going to get negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1 plus c is equal to 5. So c must be 6. So my final solution, f of x, is going to be equal to negative 4 square root x plus 3x plus 6. And there we have it. I hope you found this clear.